business, fellas. Look here. Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Tar Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside thepowerband.com. This is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Wolverine, the Wolverine, along with my intrepid super companions, Jar-Higo.
Hey.
And C-Lab forever.
Yo, I'm ejecting to see if I now have to purchase the powerband.com domain.
And we've got an ejection before this show even got out of the intro. That's never happened.
Can we get powerband.org?
There you go. Powerband.org. That should be the name of the website. That's right, folks. This week on the show, we're talking about the 1991. I knew that. Classic sequel to one of the best sci-fi movies ever, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And now I'm supposed to pretend like we already did the first movie.
Nicely done, sir.
Well done. Excellent.
Top class.
Top shelf, old boy.
Cool. No wind in those sails.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we talked about the first film, we agreed that it was the better of the two films. Now we're talking about the second film. This is terrible.
I think there's definitely a Back to the Future tie-in in the waiting here, but it's just not coming to the forefront. So
no, it's not.
Just going to acknowledge it so that, maybe like at the closing part of the show, somebody can be like, whatever.
Exactly.
They can come forward with it.
Oh, man. So anyway, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the sequel to Terminator. What did let's just high level it.
Guys,
we'd like to go
want to do
first.
A high lev?
High lev, mag lev, high lev.
You want to do a high lev?
I think it holds up. Once again, I'm not going to say this every episode, I hope, but once again, I ended up watching some stupid fucking extended cut that I thankfully changed 10 minutes in, so don't worry about that. But
okay, good.
Yeah, it just fucking was like, what the fuck? So yeah, the theatrical cut holds up. I think it's a rock solid action movie. There's not really a whole lot of nuance, and I don't know, but I think my statement is but what else do you expect from an action movie? And then I think my closing high-level thought is I was the perfect age for this. I was 11 when it came out, and I snuck into a movie theater and saw it, and it fucking blew the top off my head. I was so just blown away by this. And I think that really is a huge part of the nostalgia for me. It's a really solid 90s action sci-fi movie. Probably was one of the formative sci-fi things that got me into science fiction, period. And the whole mind-blowing liquid metal T-1000 that people hadn't really seen before just blew me away. So I still enjoy the movie.
I love it. Nice high level. Benny.
Cool. I remember going to see this. I think a pack of us went to see it. Nerdy buddies in high school all went to see it together. I was highly anticipating it. I loved the original movie. At the time, I loved it. It was pretty groundbreaking special effects and, really, really well done. Since then, I just can't touch the first movie, man. It's just so good.
You really can't.
It's not like a situation where it's kind of like the Matrix for me, where I just wish they never really did the sequels. It's not quite like that, but
Matrix death.
I don't know. I was kind of dreading watching it, and I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. It was reminding me of The Abyss, the liquid metal effects were reminding me of the water effects from The Abyss, and just that sort of time period and special effects. Linda Hamilton just absolutely is a fucking badass.
No doubt.
Totally.
Loved seeing her in this, and I love listening to her little narrations, and Arnold's really good. He's really funny. Ed Furlong's great. I don't know. It was way more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
Wow, well said, dude. I didn't really think about my high lev too much for this one. I echo what a lot of you guys say. I think this, I mean, I agree with Ben. You can't touch the first movie. It's just so good, especially after the smattering of lesser Terminator movies that has come out. But this one was just as enjoyable to watch now as it was back then. I even started giving it a second go. I didn't make it through it, but it was still really good to watch. Really enjoyed it, you know. There was a couple things I forgot, you know, in the plot line, but for the most part, you know, it was just super enjoyable, man. This is such a huge sequel. I remember, you know, like Ben, you know, it was like the anticipation, man. You know, when is this movie coming out? When is this movie coming out? And I think they really did the first one a lot of justice and added some, you know, twists and turns to it that made the story good, but it was still all very plausible, you know. And the terrific acting, you know, by all these actors in this movie really just made this shine and come to life in a great way. I think I will say, you know, what is this, 91? So now it's 21. What is it, like 30 years later? I mean, my God, dude, the movie still holds up. I will say that some of the liquid metal effects, like, you know, you can tell that it, you know, it looks a little bit dated, but even with that, it still looks pretty damn good, man. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, thumbs up, man. Good job. Good job, James Cameron.
Nice work, Mr. Cameron. I think
Excellent work, Mr. Cameron.
part of this, too, for me is
What's that?
both Aliens 2 and Terminator 2 are the first movies that I saw as a kid. So because of just the way it worked back in the day where, I don't know, my mom and dad weren't going to rent Alien or Terminator for me. So it just so happens that I saw both of these first. And so I kind of feel like that really skews my viewing in a way where I kind of perceive Terminator 1 as like a prequel-y kind of movie. Like it's just less of a, it's like the prologue, I guess, that I've only ever seen a couple of times where I've seen this, you know, a lot. So I think that just kind of taints my viewpoint as well. For the better or for the worse, I don't know.
I don't know if it's either, really. But yeah, I get it for sure. I think I saw Alien and then Aliens, but I don't remember Alien because I was very young. So by the time the second one came out, I was much older. Like I really zeroed in on that movie. So I definitely knew that one more than the first one.
Yeah.
The first one had, you know, more of a kind of a horror bent to it, which was great. But the second one was just like balls to the wall. It was great action.
Little nugget that you guys probably knew, but I didn't. That Furlong's stepmom in this, Janelle, is played by fucking Jeanette Goldstein, aka Vasquez from Aliens.
Totally,
blew
dude.
my mind when I read that yesterday. I was like,
What?
holy!
You
I just
didn't pick up on that?
I never put two and two together.
What's the year of Aliens? Tell me what year that is.
I think it was the year
Alien,
before or something.
Well, Alien was 78, right? And then the sequel came out, I feel like it came out in like 86, but I don't think that's right. Regardless, yeah. Jeanette was
say late
Vasquez.
80s.
Yeah, it is 86.
Aliens was populated by such great actors, man. You know, Mark Rolston and Jeanette Goldstein and, you know, our favorite Paxton.
Old Billy P.
All those guys, Michael Biehn, you know.
Hey,
Good stuff.
Vasquez, you ever get mistaken for a woman? No. Have you? It's just so good, man.
It's so good, man.
The best Space Marines ever.
So this movie, getting back on track, I'll tell you what. Let's just kind of going through the film a little bit. I was remembering this as I was watching it last night. One of the things I loved about the beginning, aside from having a nice little sort of blurb about, and Benny, I agree with you. Like Linda Hamilton's narration in there is great. You know, it's like it's spotty and it's perfectly layered in there. You know, at various different times in the film. You know, to kind of push the story along. But I really loved like the first movie. I always loved the glimpses of the future. You know, and seeing the HKs and like all of that sort of stuff. Man, I thought that was so cool. So it was great to kind of open on that in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondarily, when we get into, you know, present day LA, what I really dig up until the chase, you know, from the Galleria is you really don't know. And I remember thinking this when I first saw the movie because, of course, back then we didn't have the internet to ruin everything, right? So you really didn't know for that like whole half hour, 45 minutes, whether it was Arnold that was coming after the kid or if it was Robert Patrick that was coming after the kid. And I loved that, man, and you can still see it when you watch it now. I mean, it's like, obviously, right? But there was that ambiguity that I just thought was so cool. And it really it all comes to a head in the hallway, in the sort of the back hallway, the behind the scenes of the mall.
With that poor
Arnold
janitor SOB.
Oh, man,
lit
that
up.
poor dude, man. All he's just trying to freaking have a smoke and drink his coffee, dude, and just gets laced. But, it's like it all comes to a head right there when, Arnold whips out the shotgun and then he says, get down, and it's like up until then, you really didn't know if Arnold was coming to grease the kid or what. And I love that about this movie.
Yeah, no doubt. I saw that they tried to keep that under wraps, and I think this is all anecdotal, like me reading it after the fact, but I think that like the trailers kind of gave it away a bit, but I definitely know for me as a kid, I would have had no idea, and I would have very much been on that motorcycle with you as a 11-year-old in the theater, no doubt.
Yeah, I did not. The trailers didn't ruin it for me, so I was super just like, "What's happening? What's happening? Oh my god!"
I'm pretty,
like, here comes,
sure it was the video for "You Could Be Mine" by Guns N' Roses that ruined everything for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
probably.
Did that come out before or after?
Yes, before.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, simultaneous, I would guess.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It has so much footage from the movie that, like, you see like Ed Furlong on the Harley with Arnold and shit. So it was like,
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, actually, Benny, that he got spoiled by a GNR song. It doesn't really happen much anymore, right?
Well, that's the way it used to be, man. Because those were the big tie-ins.
Be pretty annoying back in the day.
People don't see videos much anymore.
No, man.
They still make them, but
They do.
Because that was a big thing, too, at the time. I was very into Guns N' Roses at the time, and having that tie-in was pretty awesome as a kid.
Oh, totally, dude. GNR was huge. Actually, they were. I think at that point in '91, everybody was realizing what a total mess GNR was, and it was like the unraveling of the sweater, as it were, from Weezer. You know what I mean? Like it was just all starting to unravel. And
the unraveling of the Weezer sweater.
yeah, right.
I love that.
If you want to Febreze my sweater.
Oh. Still one of the best 10 out of 10 albums of all time.
It'll smell fresh and something. Oh, that was terrible. That's death.
That's death. You should be a songwriter, bud.
I was that came from my heavy smoker days. I had this like zip up kind of futuristic sweater I used to wear all the time. I think it was like G-Star or something. Like it was one of those fancy ones. But my girlfriend at the time just started Febrezing my sweater because it smelled like cigarettes so bad.
Nice.
Like while I was wearing it, she's just like
nice. Whilst wearing it. That's even better.
Whilst wearing it. And then I started singing that. I was like, if you want to Febreze my sweater.
I like it, man. I think, so that's when GNR was kind of beginning to unravel, but they were still pretty cool. I don't think everybody was just starting to realize that they were unraveling. So, that song was pretty hot. But, I mean, not to go on too much of a GNR digression, let's face it, Appetite for Destruction is pretty much where it begins and ends for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
don't know, dude. There's some pretty good shit in Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
No, there's not.
You probably just could have pruned it into one good album instead of two meh albums. I love how we talked about.
I love the landscaping.
I love how we talked about
dude.
shit talking younger kids' appreciation for something, and it just happened on the show. 11-year-old me is like, I love Use Your Illusion, and you're 15 and fuck you. You suck.
Totally. That's right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, I don't. I think probably the best song on Appetite and most underrated song is freaking Rocket Queen, dude.
There you go.
One of the best, anyway.
Rocket Queen is great. I mean,
so
Appetite for Destruction is incredible, man.
It's great.
Incredible.
First CD I ever owned.
It's what's that?
It was the first CD I ever owned. I'm in total agreement with you.
What?
Really?
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, I just couldn't really get behind anything after that. I don't know. They lost the magic, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I agree. You know.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Hey, how about that Terminator 2? Anyway, I thought I was bringing up a great point talking about
Turns out
just
you weren't.
that ambiguity of the beginning there, but I don't know, we kind of
No, it is a
talking
good
about
point,
something
man.
else.
That is a good point.
Right? I just thought it was cool for viewers, you know, and it also harkens back to a time when, you know, you didn't have the internet ruining things. You know, it was like newspapers, magazines, and like, you know, music videos.
Yeah.
Like,
And trailers before
like-
movies were a huge thing because it was the only time you could see them.
yeah, exactly, man. So, you know, it was a nice surprise to walk into the theater and sit down despite having seen the trailers and not really get what was going on there, you know, and being like, well, wait, is it Arnold or is it the other guy? You know, and it made for a really cool experience when I first saw it, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you mix in how much of a little punk ass Furlong is as well, and how, I don't know, like, again, I definitely think I was quite juvenile watching this, so you'd be like, yeah, I want to be a punk kid too, you know, on Nantucket, you know, like, I want to live in LA and have a dirt bike and fucking hack Gibson and get money out of ATM machines and have hair that I can't see through. Yeah, we'll play video games. And it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. You're like, all right, dude.
Great.
Cool, buddy. Nice one. All right.
Well, I mean, at the time it was cool.
I had a random thought, speaking of Ed Furlong and, you know,
Please.
playing video games. I was like, oh, that's where he learned how to kick ass. Like, that's where his military, like, you know, that's where in the future
Yeah.
where his, like, his chops came from was from
There you
playing
go.
video games.
There you
Pumping
go.
quarters, man. Totally.
Right? I mean,
Makes sense.
that's
Afterburner
it,
and
dude.
asteroids.
Yeah, Missile Command too. Don't forget that.
Afterburner, man.
Afterburner was sick.
It was like $5 a game, but it was fucking cool as shit.
I know. It was crazy. The simulator, the machine itself was just crazy cool. Nothing
If you could
nothing was like
ever
that.
get into it, man. Like, some kid was always hogging that shit.
Oh, right, totally. That was I forgot about that. Just like people hogging the damn machines all the time, man. Anywhere you went.
Mother.
I had no patience as a kid, so I just like would end up spending my quarters elsewhere.
And then you wouldn't play Afterburner and then get pissed about it
I
afterward.
wouldn't play Afterburner. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Let's just take a second to acknowledge. Well, firstly, today at work, this kid walked in with let me back up. Mullets. I think we talked about this. Mullets are back.
Let me back
Okay.
up.
Mullets are back in a big way. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna cut one, but mullets are back. This kid, he had to be 15. Walked in to work today and he had a sick mullet. And I made a point of walking over to him and going, dude, that mullet is sick. And his younger brother just started laughing at him so hard. He was stoked, man, because I was acknowledging it. But that's just going to dovetail right into two things. We've got a absolutely gorgeous mullet in this movie, worn by none other than Danny Cooksey, who all you older nerds out there will remember as Sam from Different Strokes.
See, I remember him as one of the kids in Mom and Dad Save the World, but I'm down, man. He's
Oh, wait, was he?
a legendary little kid.
He was in the. You know what? I only saw that one time, and I don't remember anything about it.
It's a
I know
good
that. What's his name's in it? Jeffrey Jones.
We
Is
should
his
do
name?
that.
Guy that
I'm in the
plays.
Same boat. Saw it,
Is
don't
that
remember.
is that who I'm thinking of? Ben Jeffrey Jones, the guy that plays Rooney in Ferris Bueller. He was in that, right?
John Lovitz. Yeah, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So
Dude, I think what makes Danny Cooksey's mullet,
what?
I think what makes Danny Cooksey's mullet so legendary is that he's a fucking ranger.
Yeah, he is a ranger, dude, but he's also Danny Cooksey.
I know, but like
Yeah,
a
it's,
ranger mullet is just like the next level of mullet. Like,
It's very, very redneck. And
The styling on that mullet is just sensational.
it really
it is. Thank you, Ben. Sensational is the word to describe it. It's just
It is definitely in the dark hair Necronomicon fucking
oh shit, yes.
in the basement of Blaine for sure.
Where did that? What hairstyle spawned that bit of show lore?
It was a Swayze mullet.
Oh, that's right, Swayze mullet from Roadhouse.
I don't know if this is, risking the anger of the two of you, but I kind of think steak and mustaches might need to be changed to mullets and mustaches.
Dude, mustaches and mullets.
I don't know.
Maybe all three.
I like steak and everything, don't get me wrong, but mullets and mustaches are much more in the same space for me.
Well, just to be clear, like when I came up with the name Steak and Mustaches, the idea was that it was called Steak and Mustaches, but we would never really talk about steak. It would really
Okay.
it's just to talk about mustaches because I like weird shit.
Yeah. That's fair.
And just stop trying to be literal, Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it really
I do kind of think if we keep it steak and mustaches, though, and there's like a random movie where there's a really sweet steak, we could talk about it for a minute. I think it'd be pretty funny.
I would totally be down to do that. I think I agree with you, though.
As soon as we talk about The Matrix, man,
Oh, totally, dude. Cypher.
That Cypher steak is like...
And the Cypher stash.
Every time I see that, I'm like, oh, God, I need a steak, man.
He's got like steak juices in his little creeper stash. Doesn't he have a little creeper stash?
Doesn't he have he has a stash in that,
bit,
right?
Little Van Dyke, I think, right? So like a little
You're right. I
below
think
the
it
chin
is a
thing,
Van
maybe.
Dyke. Yeah. That would be a good bit for like to throw in an actual steak into it, But I think we should just talk about the mullets, but it should be called Steak and Mustaches. I don't know. There's just something about steak and mustaches, like they seem to go together.
They do go together. I mean, they somewhat
manly
go together.
men riding horses, eating steaks with big stashes.
Yeah,
beef. It's what's for dinner.
That's it. I just want to acknowledge, Benny, your the rapidity with which you were able to come up with a good steak example from a appropriate movie and get a death out of it.
That was great.
Yes. But you guys dismissed my beef. It's what's for dinner.
Oh, damn it.
Hell yeah.
You take a steak and you marinate it in the muddled big white mint. With a little bit of garlic and some black pepper.
Whole peppercorns, though.
Yeah.
And you finish your steak and you sop up all the juices with your giant mustache.
You take your lower lip, push it out, make a bit of a shelf, bring it up over your mustache,
Beef.
get all them juices out of it.
Oh, my God. That's gross. I love it.
Beef. It's what's for dinner.
Anyway.
Ginger mullets.
Yeah, good stuff. Ginger mullets. So Danny Cooksey, Different Strokes alum.
Was he in Hook?
Just the mullet. What?
I kind of want to say he was in Hook, but I don't think he was.
I don't know. I didn't realize he was in Mom and Dad Save the World, but at any rate, he was awesome in Different Strokes, and I just love that he was like, this sort of toady sidekick of Furlong.
Dude, he was fucking Budnick in Salute Your Shorts. Do you remember that stupid show?
Dude, I love how you always bitch about me looking at shit while we do the show, and you're doing exactly what I do, like to the power of 20 right now.
I'll take a death for that, but I've been trying to figure out where I knew this dude from, and that's where I know him from.
Now you understand what it's like to be me.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we?
I died.
Nowhere. What did you die on? Your 20th ejection in the first 5 minutes of the movie?
by everybody kevzing.
Oh.
About Danny Cooksey and Salute Your Shorts as Budnick. Do you remember Salute Your Shorts? So you were probably way too old for that shit.
No, I don't remember that.
Terrible show. Terrible Nickelodeon show. Camp Anawana. Camp Anawana, we hold you in our hearts. But when I think about you, it makes me want to fart. You remember that? No? Bueller?
I'm back.
Yeah, I think I made such a bad joke that Kev left. I
Really?
actually don't know what happened. We were in the middle of a conversation, and then that was it.
Shit.
What?
Oh, he's back.
I sang you a song from the Salute Your Shorts theme song, and I was like, do you remember that? And then I didn't hear anything for about 5 minutes.
I know, because I'm such a douche. I just got up to get a piece of chocolate.
I was like having a conversation with him. I was like, oh, I guess I offended Kev. He's gone now.
There are nerds in my basement playing Warhammer 40K right now.
Come on. Dude,
Right
Green
now.
Ties would be so pumped.
Totally.
Warhammer.
That's pretty cool, man.
Very.
It's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's less cool than Use Your Illusion. 1 and 2.
Wow.
Uh,
You gotta prune that shit up.
what do you got, like a roommate that plays it or some shit?
Yeah.
Well, he only has one roommate, so
I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
narrows it down.
I'm not actually sure what they're playing, but I know he paints up little figurines. So.
Nice.
One of the things that I forgot about this one, it was just how many what I consider to be iconic moments in cinema. How many of them are just back to back in this movie?
Like, give me some examples.
Oh, I mean, I suppose some of them aren't specific to this movie, so like, but because this was the first time I saw it, they're iconic for me here. Where like the time traveling spheres that takes like a sphere out of the truck, and then like the Terminator POV, Red Vision, the fucking biker bar scene, like the truck coming off the jump, the kind of like through the gully with the dirt bike stuff. Like there's just so much stuff in this movie that is like seared into my brain as iconic cinema, action cinema. But that biker bar scene, man, is just fucking great.
Really is. What is so funny?
No eating.
Fair
Sorry.
enough. It's just like smashing a Hershey's bar. Did you get the golden ticket there, fucking Charlie?
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love that part.
Oh,
Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. No, it's so, it's just, it's fucking the. Oh my God.
Cookies.
That was so great. That was so great, man.
Hold on, I'm just going to open up some Pringles. You guys don't mind?
Yeah.
Nah, man. I'm going to tee this up again. I'm going to try and get this show started.
Go.
I just think the biker bar scene where he takes the dude's clothes is fucking, it's a great scene. It's a great scene.
Oh, it's excellent. It's so unexpected. He's totally nude. I mean,
All the
You know,
girls
again,
in the
you
bar
really
are
just-
like, oh, hey.
Eddie,
You forgot
didn't.
to say please.
Right?
But you did. You know, again, you don't really know what he's like. We're still at that point in the movie where it's very ambiguous what's going on. Like you don't know. Like, is he going after the kid or is he going to protect the kid? Right? Like you don't know what's going on. So you didn't really even know why he was going into the biker bar the first time you saw it.
Sure.
So I mean, yeah, doubly so. Or to your point, rather.
The dude just cracks a pool cue across his head. I think one of the things, too, that always stuck with me was the, like, I realize this is a little bit bits and bobsy because I'm kind of recounting the scene, but throws the fucking biker dude through the like, window of the kitchen and he lands on the fucking hot plate and just burns the shit out of his hands. Just like, fuck, man, that's rough. There's just so much in there.
Yeah, he
That's
keeps
just
trying to
great.
get up and falling back onto it. It's
Yeah,
There's like
oh,
lots
man.
of steam coming off that griddle, man. Like it's super hot.
It's fucked. The movie just
I-
kicks it off, I think, really well.
I really wish, like, I really wish that Bill Paxton was in that bar.
Oh,
And he's
man.
like, oh, fuck, not again.
I really dug the just kind of commenting on what you said, Chad. I really like the balls, the spheres of
Lightning or
sort of
whatever.
kind of quantum singularities or whatever you want to call them.
Just from like a 1991 kind of production point of view, it's so cool.
Chronometric singularities.
It's such a
I
cool
felt like
idea.
that effect was.
Sorry,
I feel like that effect was done better in the first movie.
was it? Yeah.
What the spheres?
Yeah.
But there was no spheres. That was the thing. I think that he wanted to do that in the first one, but it was just like lightning, and then like dude just appeared. You know what I mean?
Again, why we watch these movies in reverse, I don't know. But
Fair enough. But yeah, the spheres were very cool. And then what? And then we're off and running. We already kind of talked about the
Yeah, then the mall.
finding John and like, who's coming to kill the kid, That whole segment was great. We get to meet the parents, Jeanette Goldstein and Xander Berkeley. Xander Berkeley was great. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, if it's an emergency, I'll get up and do it. So great. Sitting on the couch, smoking a butt. She's not my mom, Todd. Dween, 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 dween. Great. And then I found $5. Hey. Anyway, well, let's talk about Robert Patrick for a second, because this was his, like, I don't know if this was his first. I think this was his breakout movie, because he did Fire in the Sky, which came out around the same time. That was really good, too.
That movie freaked me out when I was a kid.
Oh, my God, that movie scared the shit out of me, too. But he was really good in this, and he played a really good job of being kind of creepy machine, you know? Like, when he's talking to Jeanette Goldstein, you know, and Xander Berkeley's like, oh, yeah, there was a big guy looking for him before. And he's like, he just, like, had this weird pause and this weird look on his face. And he's like, no, you don't need to worry about that guy.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, like, got right back on track talking about John, you know? And it was just so weird how he's just like, you know, do you know where John is? Do you have a picture of John? And they were just, I love how they were just like, oh, yeah, here you go.
Here you go.
Yeah, he went out with his buddies. Like, he's down at the mall, you know, like.
But the idea,
I guess you
the
wouldn't
cleverness of having him be a cop is super clever.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I guess it wouldn't be weird, like you see a police officer show up at your door and he's like looking for your son or foster son, whatever. I mean, I guess you wouldn't think too much of it. Like, what are you going to say? Like, are you a Terminator?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did a great job, man. He
really, really did.
I guess in an early treatment, it was going to be Arnold versus Arnold, like two different T-800s, and that would have been stupid. So I think
that would have sucked.
Yeah, the higher tech prototype stuff is cool, and then you've got just how non-human he was able to play it. Like, Robert Patrick was so good, man.
Well, it was cool because, like, Arnold had his own thing down as the T-800 or the 101, and then he was able to, you know, make his own mark with the T-1000 and that character, and it was really good. I mean, you know, you talk about, and it has been talked about, you know, how it really is, you know, harder to do something where you have really no lines at all. You know, and Arnold, in the first movie, Arnold had very few lines, you know, very much like Diesel doing Groot, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of idea. So Robert Patrick in this movie, he has, you know, really not a ton of lines at all, man. It's all in the presence and the face and the physicality of the character, man, you know? So from that standpoint, you know, doubly, triply so, he just really crushed it. He's so good. He's like just creepy enough and like just weird enough to be a machine and, you know, great at being superhuman, you know, like he's like running and he's just like flat out and he's so fast and he's like completely stone-faced, you know, like really like giving it that, you know, sort of machine-esque or robotic, you know, kind of tinge.
Yeah, man, that running just sells it for me, totally.
Right?
The run is very iconic.
Really
And
iconic.
So is the like the motorcycle cop outfit that he has on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it is.
that's one of those things I've always wanted to do for Halloween, and I keep forgetting. Like, you know, it's like that helmet and the mirrored shades, and the, you know, like there's just something about that look that's super iconic.
You know what I love? I love all of the great ideas I've had for Halloween that I forgot to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sling Blade and whatever.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Let's not do that again. Or maybe we should.
What?
Should I tell that joke again?
Let's go into a
What was the
huge cul-de-sac about it.
There you go. What was the damn joke from that episode? Because I beat the hell out of it.
I don't remember.
Good. Let's move on.
I think it was just that you kept bringing up Sling Blade in like every episode.
No, it was something about something not having gas. And I was like, oh yeah, and there's Carl. It was so dumb. Anyway.
It was, I just, I don't know, I guess not so regrettably, just watched season 10 of The Walking Dead, and he had a part in one of those episodes. And
Robert Patrick?
So it was interesting to see him so young, you know. I was like, holy fuck. Dude's getting older just like the rest of us. Like,
yeah, right.
You know, he just looks so young in that movie, man. He looks, you know.
Yeah, he was also in the excellent coming of age, could be sort of the sidecar movie in the the coming of age, airborne, rad, grind, Aspen Extreme pool of movies called Supercross.
Is it a dirt bike movie?
Wait.
Yeah, it is with Channing Tatum and let's see, Robert Carradine's in it, Mike Vogel, and
Dude, I love how there's like 5 people in the world that are obsessed with like extreme sports movies, and you're one of them. You're
The
like the
worst
fucking fan
movies.
club founder. I fucking love it. I love
yeah,
it.
it's
I
like
love the
me,
niche.
my brother, me, and my brother.
And then one dude with a sweet mullet somewhere in Florida.
Exactly. Yeah, some guy is out there is like, go, guys, right on. Right? Anyway,
and you
so,
all love Cool as Ice.
Oh
yes. Oh,
What's not to
totally,
love?
man. Come on, baby, drop that 0 and get with the hero.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Robert Patrick should
Exactly.
have gotten a lot more roles than he did, man.
Robert Pattinson or Robert Patrick?
Robert Pattinson, of course. We're not talking about T2
Of
today.
course.
Robert Patrick, you fuck knuckle.
I think he did. I think he had more roles than you think, man.
Oh, he
Like,
did,
played,
but nothing that I can recall. It's just like he
Well,
didn't
that's
get.
the thing. Like, it's.
He didn't get like
Yeah.
the big A-lister shit that he probably should have.
I don't know. Maybe you're right about that. I know what you mean by that, Chad. But he definitely showed up in a lot of places over the years, and I just love him, man. Like, he was fucking great. And he played Johnny Cash's dad in Walk the Line. He was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. And it was a big part too. He was there, like recurring throughout the movie. You know, always disapproving and coming from nothing, man. I mean, like nothing. It was great.
he's a great dude.
And he played. I'm sure he played some cop or FBI agent and some fucking thing that I'm forgetting, like everybody else. Anyway, so Robert Patrick was just excellent in this movie. Let's keep moving here and talk about. Should we bother to talk about Arnold or what?
Nah, I don't know. Maybe like moving away from the cast. Room.
Mimetic polyalloy.
Yeah,
Dude,
right.
that's it right there. It begins and ends with that line. That's the best line in the entire movie.
Best line in the entire. There's so many good ones in the
Yeah.
the Uzi 9mm.
Yes.
Plasma
Plasma
rifle,
rifle
40-watt
into
range.
40-watt range. Oh, dude, Jinx, you owe me a freaking futuristic Coke.
Yeah.
No, Jinx, you owe me a rat burger. There you go. No, that's terrible. Come back to me. I can do better.
And the Corona.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, mimetic polyalloy. The best line in the whole goddamn movie.
Liquid metal.
I mean, they did a good job of layering in the humor in this movie. Like, it wasn't obnoxious and like I can see it coming a mile away, which I really enjoyed a lot. You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
just 90s enough too.
Yeah, it was, but just like the part where, he makes the phone call and finds out that his foster parents are dead, and then those two big jocks come over, and after he's screaming and all of that shit, and he's like, why, Edward Furlong, well, I'll get to that in a second, but he's screaming at him like, why did you try to kill him or whatever? And he goes, of course, I'm a Terminator.
What do you want me to do?
Exactly, man.
Right.
There was a bunch of lines like that just fit, and they work well, and they continue to work.
Someone
What?
had just heard whoever wrote the script had just heard the the frog and the scorpion story.
Right, exactly. It's like, what? I'm a printer. I print things. Like, what the fuck do you want from me, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I really enjoyed the humor, just to kind of sidebar off Arnold, because he had a bunch of funny lines.
I have a total goofball idiot moment to
Go.
confess. I thought the line is hasta la vista, baby, but for some reason I was convinced it was no way Jose.
Like, your memory of it was that?
I just kind of wish it was, like. Yeah.
Just, can you give us a taste of Arnold saying "No way, Jose"? Because that sounds funny in my head.
If I can stop laughing.
It's so dumb. The more I think about it, it gets funnier and dumber the more I think about it.
It's totally dumb.
It's so ridiculous. All right, here goes. Ready? No way. No way, Jose. That is so bad. That's great.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
That's pretty stupid, man.
It is. It's so good. That was very Kev of you, dude. Nice job. I love laughing at my own stupidity, and I'm loving listening to you do it to yourself.
It's so stupid.
It is. It's so great. What do you? So just now that you've sort of calmed down a little bit, what do you mean?
Though?
That's
Has
what
he
you thought
calmed
it
down?
was? Well, probably not, but
I was convinced, like, going into what, I was kind of like dreading watching it. I was like, oh, Jesus, got that stupid no way Jose line or whatever, And then, like, when Ed Furlong is, like, trying to teach him to be cool or whatever, he's like, and then you say hasta la vista, baby. And I was like, oh, that's what it was.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Perfect. Perfection.
No way, Jose.
it does not even roll. Like nothing Arnold says really rolls off his tongue, but some stuff works, and that does not.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really good, dude. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I don't think they would have made as good of a movie if they hadn't threaded Arnie as a good Terminator back in here. I think the fact that, like, Arnie, I don't know, there's like something that sticks with me where Cameron was saying he used to be really into the idea of the Tin Man and Wizard of Oz finding his heart, and kind of saw that as Arnie in this movie, and that really kind of stuck with me for some reason. It's just like kind of the robot that kind of finds his humanity, and it's like it beats you over the head with it a bit, but it's also subtle in other ways. And I think like the comedy stuff and silliness of it was kind of a big part of it, getting you to like appreciate the roboticness of the character. It really makes a big difference. I definitely think like Arnold was nervous about not just going around killing everybody action star like, and I think the fact that he didn't in this, it made audiences love him more as an actor,
Yeah.
I agree. I think it made the movie just excellent. The way he laid it out, it was really good. It was a great angle to do the Terminator coming off the first one. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and totally plausible too. It worked really well.
He played it great, and they did it right. They wrote it right. It's like at the end, he's like, now I understand why you cry, instead of like fucking crying himself or something, like that would have been like over the line.
I would have cut my own self. Yes,
I would have had to cut myself.
Exactly right.
But yeah, I think it was close, but they did it right.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, dude. And just like his whole, really, I think the better bit there of that scene, Ben, is when he's explaining to John, like he straight away, like it's like they throw the arm in, then they throw the chip in, and then it's like he straight away is like, that's it, I have to go too. You know what I mean? And like trying to explain it to John and stepping onto the hook and all that. It was just super great and super powerful, man.
Yeah,
and didn't make it too much like, oh, he's human now, and like
exactly. Yeah, yeah, he was his learning CPU, learned some shit, and then he went into the pit. Like
excellent summation.
We didn't have to go through some super. I mean, it was emotional enough as it was. It didn't have to be any. You didn't have to like literally find his heart. As the Tin Man. So I thought it was good.
I heard that at the end when he like gives him the thumbs up before his hand goes into the
that was kind of
molten
stupid.
iron or whatever. It's so dumb, but from what I understand, like people were bawling in the theater in the 90s when that happened, which I just find hilarious.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, like test audiences and shit, which I just love. I kind of love it. It's just such a snapshot in time of like the peak of cinema was for the everyman, was just like, that's so deep, bro. The thumbs up got me so good, like I can totally picture those audiences, and I love them. I love them so much.
Then they went and got into their their 4x4 pickup with a no fear sticker on the windshield.
Exactly.
With the no fear sticker? Is that what you said?
No fear sticker
Oh
on the windshield. And
yes.
Calvin pissing on something on the rear bumper.
And fucking drinking some 2-liter bottles of Extreme Mountain Dew.
That's it.
I mean, Extreme Mountain Dew it. Now with extra Senate. That's a Star Wars dub.
Code Red.
I like that they could also play your old stereotype of Arnie off of you, you know, as a viewer, where he's becoming kind of human with John, and then when he walks into the psych ward and Sarah Connor sees him, just fucking like, holy shit, you know. I like that they could kind of show you, the audience, you're like, no, he's cool, but Sarah doesn't know it yet, and you can kind of like go along for that ride too.
Yeah, and it's instant callback to the hallway scene as well. It's like every time Arnie shows up, somebody should have worn the brown pants, basically.
Yeah. Well, it had that like layer of, well, not really as much, but it had sort of tones of that kind of ambiguity bit from the first part of the movie that I was talking about before.
Yeah, it doesn't for you as the viewer, but it does for Sarah. And you're like, oh shit.
Right.
Yeah, and you can kind of get snapped back to it for a second.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
A lot of people don't know this, but
dude, Major Pain is on Netflix. I love that movie.
That's a good movie. And why are you looking at that?
I don't know. Because I'm not supposed to. That's probably why.
It's probably why.
I might watch that after the podcast.
Dude, Major Pain's great.
Yeah, I may watch that after the podcast. Either that or He-Man. Who knows?
Hey, man.
I don't know. I just love Damon Wayans.
I'm going to send you guys a link to. I just watched this thing, the Wards of Synth live at the Necropolis.
Oh my God!
Have you seen that?
No.
No, but I feel like that hair Necronomicon should be at that concert.
It's like an Adult Swim thing. It's like live action, but it's like, you know, basically Giorgio Moroder and Vangelis and Wendy Carlos are in a competition to do the soundtrack for Halley's Comet coming. It's like a parody, like so they're like in a live competition on the stage, and it's like on PBS, and there's two dudes like commentating through the whole thing.
Oh, dude,
it's fucking hilarious.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It sounds very metal too, man. I love it.
Is it a show or just like a short film, or what is it?
It's just like a 10-minute, you know, one-off thing. It's probably part of a show, but I don't know what the show is. But it's really funny. It's like it's interesting. It's good.
That's awesome.
You know, we've done this a few times lately, but I gotta say, I am genuinely amazed at how little we've talked about this movie in the last hour and a half. But I'm really interested in everything else we talked about.
That's
too.
it. And Major Pain's on Netflix.
And Major Pain's on Netflix.
I think that the Sarah Connor bit there is a good transition to the psych ward stuff. That, I think, is a huge component of this, where when Linda Hamilton was asked if she wanted to do this movie, she was like, yeah, as long as I'm crazy. So I think that, too, that layer is a critical part of this, that if that was missing and she was just same old Sarah Connor, it would have probably not held up as much. She just fucking rocked this movie.
Yeah. I was going to say this is like a perfect segue to Linda Hamilton in general, man.
Yeah.
She was so, I was blown away by her in this, like on this particular watching. I mean, I guess probably in all watchings, but I had forgotten, you know, like I hadn't seen it in so long that, when I just watched it this time, she just fucking blew my doors off. Like, you know, from doing, like she enters the movie doing fucking chin-ups, like on the leg of her bed turned up on end, you know, and it's just like, oh boy, here we go. Like, you know, Earl Bowen there is just like awesome as the, you know, the kind of smarmy dickhead fucking, you know, psychiatrist or whatever. And like,
oh, I love
just their
him,
whole
man.
like interplay is really good.
Yeah, he was great. He's just great, period, man. He was great in the first one, too. And I love that they brought him back to be a larger part, secondary character. But not to take away from what you're saying about Sarah Connor, I think I could not agree with you more. Like, the first movie, even though, Reese kept saying how, like, she's this legend and she's like this, tough woman that taught her son how to do this and how to do that and all that stuff. Like, she's still kind of really more like that classic that I just can't stand, weepy woman, you know what I mean, in a movie who, can't really do much for herself. And in this one, it is like a complete 180. I mean, she is just 1000% badass, and it's great. I mean, dare I say, this is one of the first, like, super badass, heroines that we see in a movie.
Yeah,
Maybe.
man, between this, Ripley, and maybe Princess Leia, like, there's not a hell of a lot to go on.
Yeah.
Ripley, yeah.
In terms of just, like, badasses. That's a Star Wars death. Fuck.
Well,
Yeah. Don't forget Vasquez.
dude.
Yeah, Vasquez, too, but it's a bit of a bit role, but yeah, I mean, she's definitely a badass.
I know, but she's in, Janelle Voigt is in this.
It's true. Fair.
Or, sorry, Jeanette Goldstein. Sorry.
Goldstein, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. That was the character name.
I think for me, Sarah Connor and Linda Hamilton in this movie is the key reason why I would prefer to talk about this movie before Terminator, just because I think she brings so much to the table. And my recollection of her in the first Terminator is as kind of a weepy waitress, who kind of gets more courage towards the end and stuff. But I love
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I love how she goes from, a tag along in the first movie to, like, ain't nobody gonna fuck with me here in this movie. Like, she is just unbelievable.
And we also get enough lore from, like, listening to, just the bits and bobs that we get from, the time in Pescadero to John talking about his mom, that we get painted a picture of what exactly happened between the two films, how she just kind of became obsessed with it and talked about it way too much, clearly, and everybody thought she was crazy and, all that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
there's good lore there. And the fact that she's narrating the movie is great.
Yeah.
Dude, she is Kyle Reese in this movie.
Dude, nicely said.
Like, exactly. She is essentially the same, or the exact same role, the same character, even right down to, like, she falls asleep at the picnic table and starts having a dream about, like, she has that dream where she's, like, yelling at herself and the bomb drops and, she's like, that scene is intense, man. Holy shit.
It is.
But, like, Reese has, like, a similar, like, he falls asleep and he dreams about, like, the HKs and shit fucking, wasting people up. And
Totally.
it's, like, really similar. So.
No, it is. And we get to see her in the waitress outfit again. Who got the burly beef?
Yo, little nugget there, which you guys probably read. I didn't know before doing a little bit of.
I guarantee you, we did not read that nugget, Chad.
But Linda Hamilton did not play that role in The Playground. That was her identical twin sister.
Wow, get the fuck out!
What? Really?
Are you for real? She has a twin?
Totally, yeah. She has an identical twin sister, and, like, in the last scene where there's two Sarah Connors and one of them's the T-1000, that's the background is her identical twin sister. What's her name? Lori, I think it is.
Wow. Mind blown. I did not know that. That is as Extreme Mountain Do It. Now with more Senate.
I like that you guys didn't know. Like, I didn't know that either, and I always remember seeing her playing with John on the playground and being like, that doesn't look right. She looks weird. And in a way, like, I'm wrong because they're identical twins, but in a way, like, I don't know, maybe she just carries herself a little bit differently or something. But I love that. I love it. I think it's cool.
I think that's your knowledge influencing you.
I'm your twin brother, Julius.
That's it.
Your mind is being controlled by hypnosis.
I love nuke food.
Yeah, the nuke scene, man, as a slight digression away. Well, I'm sure we'll circle back to the psych ward and stuff, but man, that nuke scene is just so fucking intense, bro. Like, the kind of Pompeii-esque kind of people in, like, crouched down, ashed out, and they get blown out, and then Sarah Connor's on fire, and it's just amazing. It was amazingly well
I don't
done.
know. You really, really you can really feel it, man. That's, I think, what's so great about that little scene. Like, I think the thing that really hit me this time was, like, the like it's like you see the bomb hit, right? And then there's that like right?
Yeah.
Before the wave comes, and it's like you can just see everybody getting like seared by that light. It's like, ugh.
It's fucked.
Really, really awful. Super powerful, yeah. Terrible.
Yeah. It reminded me of like just, when I was a little kid, I think I'd probably like I was picking up on the news when like my parents didn't think I was, and I was like very aware of, all the nukes we had and all the nukes they had and the sort of Cold War scenario. And I was just fucking petrified of that shit when I was a kid. So like I literally had dreams like that, like
Sure.
I don't know how high the stakes actually were while I was alive, but I mean, just or how high they still are, in fact, because it's not like they're gone. But it's just, it just reminded me of like that anxiety I used to carry around when I was a little kid,
Totally, man. Height of the Cold War kind of stuff. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you gotta watch The Americans, dude.
Dude, I do have to watch The Americans.
Both of you. It's so good. Anyway.
The only other thing, too, on the Sarah Connor stuff, I think, like, the scene where there's that, like, creeper. There's quite a few scenes with the creeper orderly with the thick glasses where he licks her face, man.
Oh,
Coke
man,
bottle
dude.
glasses, dude. Oh, my God.
That scene's so heavy. And totally get kind of, like... I kind of feel like The Bride in Kill Bill kind of cribs from this a little bit, where, like, she just is so impassively just, like, lets the dude lick her face and then just fucking creams him with the mop stick later and stuff. Like, there's so much stuff in there that I dug.
Shit, that's right. Yeah. I'm with you on that. That you're right. It did crib from it, but it's that guy just like exemplifies like the creepy,
Power hungry idiot.
really unbalanced. Yeah. Creepy, like unbalanced, like mental healthcare facility worker. That like abuses the patients in like creepy ways.
Bit of a trope, but well played.
Bit of a trope, but like, it's just the whole thing with like the white pants and like the tight white polo shirt.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a belly. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like it works so well.
That scene must have been super awkward. Like, I wonder how many times they had to shoot that. Like,
Right?
Yeah, right. Like, no, lick her face, dude. It's like, I don't. It's too weird. I
Don't
can't
really
do
want
that.
to. I was just thinking about being the actor there. Just be like, look, Linda, I'm sorry I have to do this. I just Listerine for half an hour. Let's just do this. Like.
Yeah. It made me very uncomfortable. I kept like I needed like an adult. I kept hoping like the fat boys were gonna bust in as disorderlies and like turn into a joke, but it just
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Cinema classic.
We got to do that movie, dude. That, and we got to do DC Cab too.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's like the only other Mr. T movie ever.
Okay.
It's like Gary Busey, Mr. T, and Adam Baldwin.
Yeah, all right. All-star cast there.
Yeah, Albert Hockenberry. All right, anyway.
The Earl Bowen as the psych versus Sarah Connor in the facility power dynamic is pretty awesome too. Where she's like playing along the scene where she has to watch herself on the video, kind of freaking out, and then she's like, I don't think that anymore, and like trying to bullshit her way out. And then as soon as he says, no, you're here for 6 more months, like there's so much interesting power dynamic shit in that segment.
Definitely. Again, great move expounding on Dr. Silberman's role and putting him as like the director of Pescadero, So great.
There's a nugget on Earl Bowen I wanted to throw out because I think you guys will appreciate it, that not only is he excellent as Dr. Silberman in the 2 Terminator movies, but he also did a bunch of voice work on Bruno the Kid, which I thought you'd appreciate.
Oh, nice nugget, dude.
The classic cartoon that everyone knows and loves.
A Bruce Smith's miracle.
Another Bruce Smith miracle, Chad, and it's only bloody August.
Right?
Love it.
It's beginning to look a lot like Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith.
Oh, boy.
Tee-hee-hee. I love it, man. Okay,
right,
so what else?
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
What else?
Because now we're out of time, so we got to cram the movie. Linda Hamilton, I don't know. I don't really have anything else on her. I really just love how she I guess to say the only other thing that jumps out at me is just her struggle in the movie. You know what I mean? Like her. I really like that, man. Like the Dyson scene, you know, she takes off to go and grease Dyson, then they chase after her, and then she kind of like goes in there, she shoots him, and then she just kind of like breaks down and like curls up in a ball on the side against the wall, you know, and I really like that, man.
Yeah, yeah. It brings the
You know,
humanity
it was-
back to her character. She's not. Yeah, she doesn't go full Terminator, I guess. Like, it's kind of a silly way to say it, but
Yeah.
She's a really excellent like fighter. You know what I mean? Like it's not just that she like trained with all these dudes and people thought she was crazy. Like she legitimately is like good at it. Like when all the dudes come, you know, again, like I feel like this is like the third movie in a row where we've done where there's just like a million SWAT guys.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Man.
And in this movie, there's a million SWAT guys, and it was my favorite part of last episode. Chad, is when you said, "We're so SWAT," and like they're totally like, "We're so SWAT." And Linda Hamilton's just, you know, she doesn't give a shit. She's just like, "Give me a gun and let me blast some fools," you know. I love that.
Yeah,
and she's good at it too.
Yeah. Another Agent Smith like SWAT swarm.
yep.
Oh, totally. SWAT swarm.
Getting back to her trying to assassinate Dyson, I was definitely captivated by Joe Morton's performance in this movie.
Man,
I thought he was really,
You were
really great,
too?
man.
Dude, I don't think I really appreciated it until I watched it this time.
Same.
Ben. I could not have said that better myself. It was so good.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure if I've seen this movie since I saw it like in the theaters. So
Really?
it's been a while. But no, I was just really he was great, man. He was so good. I was kind of like, oh, that's I'd forgotten like his fate, you know, like I forgot what happened to him. And I was like,
Same here.
it's like a great arc for the character, but I was kind of bummed out to see him go, you know, like he was really good.
He was really good, and I loved the course that his character took in this movie. Like this movie has a lot of great things going for it. And one of them is that like there's just a lot of times where you didn't, certainly not in your first viewing or two, like you don't really know where the story's going to go or the characters are going to go. And like I loved how Dyson just immediately gets on board with it, is immediately like, I'm going to quit tomorrow. We got to do this. We got to do this. And he's with them like 100%, like straight away. I love that. It wasn't, I feel like it's such almost a trope, even at this point in time in 91, where it was like, you know, they'd go in and explain it and he'd be like, no. And then they'd spend, you know, the rest of the movie trying to convince him that was the case. And then, you know, something would happen. And I loved how they just went in another direction, you know, and it was like, immediately he was like, yep, makes sense. You have a robot arm. So let's go blow the place up.
Sure. I mean, I'm not like a freaking computer genius or whatever, but I could totally put myself
Frickin'
in. I could put myself in Dyson's shoes just because, like, imagine, you know, being given future tech and having to, you just be like, holy shit, can I figure this out? Super excited about it as a scientist and like trying to like get to the bottom of it and all these things. And it totally is plausible how you'd be super pumped about it and dedicate your life to it. And then all of a sudden Arnie and Sarah Connor show up and you're just like, yeah, now you're responsible for the death of humanity. You just be like, fuck, man, that's heavy, you know, and change your
Totally,
tune.
dude.
Like, I totally empathize with the dude. He's like clearly a good dude, you know, and it's interesting how like they put forward the, like, even if you have the best of intentions, you know, the road to hell is paved with the best of intentions kind of thing. And he has an opportunity to redeem himself. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And his wife looks like Kamala Harris with dreads. Yeah.
There you go.
I can't remember the actress's name. She's great. She was in a ton of stuff in that time frame.
She was in a ton of stuff, man.
Yeah, she was really good.
We should probably touch on Furlong, man. Another young actor who had a hard time afterwards, a la Jamie.
Jamie, you're full of midichlorians.
You're filled with midichlorians.
You're filled with the midichlorians. Hey, Arnold, what's for lunch?
Jamie, you're
Midichlorian
going to bring
pie.
balance to the force.
We're going to be eating midichlorian pie for lunch.
I kind of want to see a Arnie as Obi-Wan mashup. I think that'd be kind of good.
Ooh, you got something going there. Dude, I got to tell you, this. I think I mentioned this before. I got to say it again since you brought up Obi-Wan. But have you ever watched,
Star Wars?
no,
You ever
Octonauts?
watched Star Wars before? Have I ever watched what?
Octonauts?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So Octonauts, the main dude, it's like a bunch of, anthropomorphic animals. Can't believe I'm saying this.
I love that we're having an Octonauts called sex.
So like it's a bunch of
Go on.
Yeah, it's a bunch of anthropomorphic animals, and the leader is named Captain Barnacle, and he's a bear, and he sounds exactly like Obi-Wan.
Luke, trust your feelings.
Yes, I'm always like, no, not that Obi-Wan, like the yakisoba. That's what I think of every
Oh
time.
no, Flo baby, put the mask back on.
Anakin, I have the high ground. What's that?
Flo baby, put the mask back on.
That's it.
Dude, I love the idea of like Luke sitting down eating his white porridge with Beru and Lars and being like, "Hey, looking for Obi-Wan." Kenobi's like, "Oh, maybe they mean Dr. Barnacle down in the submarine."
Captain Barnacle.
Old Ben Kenobi, is that like Captain Barnacle
Does he mean Captain Barnacle?
on the Octonaut ship? Okay, thank you. Yeah,
That old wizard's just a crazy old man.
Nice. It's just a creepy old bear.
Jesus, this is one of our weirdest mashups.
Anyone with a kid is like chuckling, and anyone that doesn't have a kid right now is like, "You guys are fucking stupid."
I never thought you were going to take the Octonauts and pull that into the Star Wars universe.
I like that the Octonauts are now part of the extended EBD cinematic universe.
I do too, man.
Okay. Edward, I think we should probably talk. Can we switch away from Octonauts for a moment to talk about Edward
Yeah.
Furlong?
Yeah. Let's talk about him. Because I really like him a lot. I liked him in this movie. I think this was his first movie, and then he kind of like got huge, and then what happened? He started doing drugs.
This was more than his first movie. He got pulled out of a fucking boys club with zero acting experience.
Boys Club. What do you mean, like the Boys and Girls Club?
There was
Like
a
that kind of
fucking
thing?
there was a
Like the Ween song?
people hanging out at a boys and girls club in California, and they saw him and were like, "Would you like to be in a movie?"
Wow.
Wow. That's what I always wanted to happen to me, and it never happened.
Yeah.
Like there's like child actor, and there's like never acted in his life, never wanted to act ever, and was just like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll come down."
It's mighty interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I had. Have you ever seen Pecker, the John Waters film?
No.
Heard of it, haven't seen it.
Is that good?
He's like he plays the lead role. Yeah, he's good. It's good. I'd forgotten all about it, but I was like reading about him today, and I was like, "What the hell else has he done?" And I had completely forgotten about that film. So
I forgot what else he's done, but I've heard Pecker was good, and then I also own a copy of Detroit Rock City, and I love him in Detroit Rock City. He's freaking great in that.
In American History X as well.
Oh shit, that's right. He's so good in that.
I gotta watch that one again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good. Captain Sisko's in that shit.
He
too.
did a good job in this, man. He was the screechy, prepubescent, voice cracked when he screamed kind of.
yeah,
I remember it was like this movie, like everyone shaved half their head after this movie came out in my fucking grade. Like, definitely, he captured a moment.
Mm-hmm. He definitely did. He had his more than 15 minutes for sure with this movie, and then he went on to actually do some other stuff where he showed some talent too, which is great.
Similar thread to last week where, inexperienced Natalie Portman, it's definitely a difference here between Natalie Portman and Furlong in terms of chops, but it's interesting to see two young actors do well in a role and fit in with the heavyweight actors that they were up against.
Well, nearly as I can tell, Furlong never like pursued it long term. I don't know what he's been doing. I haven't really looked him up, but needless to say, I think he did a really good job in this and the other movies that we mentioned.
I think you ended up going down a bit of a shitty road for a while there, but whatever.
yeah,
Not worth going into.
Yeah, he definitely hit what we would call in the business a rough patch.
Roughing up your wife patch.
Yeah, general spousal abuse and drug abuse kind of stuff. But
It's unfortunate.
he's apparently on the mend, so that's good.
It's good. Being a young actor that gets fame would be pretty rough, man. More power to anyone that can get through that shit. He did a good job in this.
Yeah, no, he was. I was remembering him as being more annoying,
Yeah.
and which is very easy. The kid in the movie is, well, look at Jamie, aka Anakin.
Exactly.
It can sour a film, and he didn't at all. Like, he was really good, played it just right.
I agree. I remember him being more annoying, but he wasn't on this viewing. Yeah.
No, not at all.
I think we're kind of in bits and bobs territory.
Already?
Yeah. I mean, we did Psych Ward. We did opening chase scene. We've covered the main actors. So it's kind of like closing up of the movie at Cyberdyne / bits and bobs.
Cyberdyne.
All right, let's wrap this up and go to Cyberdyne for brews afterward.
That's it. I hadn't considered it prior to just now, but I kind of like the heistiness of the getting into Cyberdyne. It kind of turns into a heist movie for a few minutes.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Speaking of, jeez.
It's Rick.
There you go, man.
Geez,
nice.
Rick.
God, you got that so damn good, dude. I'm so pissed about that.
Morty, you got to shove it way up there.
Oh, jeez, Rick. Sorry. Continuing on.
So bits and bobs? I don't know.
Cyberdyne.
Well, I think you're right. It is heisty, and it's definitely cool. There's a lot of cool elements to it. It's like heisty at the beginning, but like you've got the element of having the Terminator there, right? Who's, for all intents and purposes, like impervious. So, I love when he's like, I'll go take care of the police, and he doesn't kill a single one, which is great. Doesn't even really hit any of them. He just destroys all the police cars. And it was just like a really great. I'm so sorry. Symphony of Destruction.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Man.
Mortal man.
Yeah, it was.
It's too late for me to do the scream, but
Even just pulling up on the motorcycle to the security guard and shooting him in the kneecaps, both knees, he'll live. Like, it's like, oh man, that's fucking great.
that was great.
Yeah, but Arnie taking down the SWAT swarm, as it were, and it being punctuated with 0.0 human casualties and red first person Terminator vision, like, was pretty great,
Dude. And the goddamn Jesse Ventura chain gun, man. Fuck, I love that.
So great, man. Nothing like a minigun, dude.
All I could think in this movie was there are so many, especially during that one little bit where he's got the grenade launcher, like the grenade launcher, and the
oh yes, the grenade launcher is great.
he keeps like loading it. It keeps making that like noise, like that perfect. And then he breaks out the chain gun, and I was just like, "Oh my god, those are like two of my favorite tropey weapons from like first-person shooters."
Just ever.
Like,
Definitely, dude. Dude, I got the minigun.
Ever since Ventura and Predator, man, the minigun, it was my favorite weapon when I was a kid. It was just like the idea of that.
Yes, the Gatling gun that you can carry. So cool, man.
What does he call it?
What?
Jesse Ventura.
Oh, he's got a name for it, doesn't he?
I don't think he calls it anything, does he?
I thought he had a name for it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it totally does. Fuck, I don't remember.
Oh, maybe he does.
We're all gonna have to take a death for that one.
Oh God, you're right.
We're gonna get fucking bitch slapped by our listeners.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
What else about the heist?
I don't know. I mean, I just
son of a bitch.
You
I'm
son
in.
of a bitch. I'm in. I think just the elements were there. It had like a lot of cool, like, obviously the Terminator blowing up all the police cars. Like, we got to see Edward Furlong whip out his little credit card thing and dial that in. And, everybody was like doing something. Like, everybody was like actively doing something interesting and cool to move that whole part along. I really liked it a lot, and then it's like bring in giant barrels of, whatever, some explosive shit, toxic waste. from
Explosive
RoboCop.
waste. Yeah, right.
the RoboCop toxic waste barrels, to help blow the place up. And then, just the SWAT dudes coming in like in the professional was great. And the way Arnold got him out of there was just great too,
Yeah, when he goes out and starts wasting them up with tear gas, and he just grabs that box fan and like just goes driving through the front door. It's Arnie driving through yet another front door.
Oh,
in a big truck.
You're right.
Just like Raw Deal.
Excuse me, could you move a little, please? Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed that. And then, again, like this movie really has everything, because then we get the excellent helicopter chasing the truck, and that helicopter was like going through under bridges and through tunnels. Like it was pretty dope.
Yeah, that chase scene is great. And then, they just end up in that little like that little like 4-banger S10 with like the dog fucking house on the back of it. It's like, step on it. It's like, the vehicle is at maximum speed.
I love that. That's probably the second best line in the movie.
Yeah.
4-banger S10, dude. It was like a freaking Isuzu, like whatever. That thing was so old. I love when the house on the back just gets destroyed. It's so great. It just crumbles like matches,
Yeah.
It's just so good. There was like, I think we had... Did Arnold drive a big rig in the first one? Yeah, he did. I mean, there was a little bit of a copycat thing there too, right? They were on the motorcycle with the homemade pipe bombs. He's chasing them in the Mack truck.
Yeah.
But this one, I love how they just upped the ante of like, it was almost like they were like, yeah, the motorcycles in the Mack trucks were great in the first movie. Let's just triple them, It was like there was motorcycles everywhere. Like he got into like 3 Mack trucks to chase them. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, there were a lot of interesting callbacks to the first movie for sure. I'm trying to think of what else, but
that was definitely one of them. I don't know.
That was definitely one, besides like the, I need your clothes.
Well, and then ending up in some kind of factory,
Right, ending
like
up in a foundry.
Right. I kind of dug that the first one, it wasn't a foundry, because I feel like that's a little done to death. Like, even when this movie came out. So, I mean, like, Christ, we already had Cobra with the foundry ending. You know what I mean? It came out like, a couple of years before this. But, yeah, so the foundry, I was a little like, But, I mean, honestly, how else would they have destroyed that thing? I mean, there's really no other way to do it. Except
another way to do it.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Speaking of psych outs on the first watching, I remember I was definitely psyched out in the theater when of course he happens to be driving a
liquid nitrogen truck,
towing a trailer full of liquid nitrogen. But I thought that was it. Like I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, I never thought of that. That's an interesting way to end it. And then that's the end. But I got caught by that psych out for sure. That was not spoiled by Guns N' Roses.
You haven't seen me in my final form, Benny. The liquid nitrogen scene was awesome.
Is Kate Capshaw coming back?
I was just about to say something like that. That was like one of my favorite show moments in recent history, was when Ben said that.
It was a good one.
In the video game episode, the final form turns into Kate Capshaw. But it's like a Kate Capshaw demon, or something weird like that.
He turns into Kate Capshaw, and then he rips your skull out along with your spine.
Exactly. A la demonic.
Or she rips your skull out with your spine, as it were. But
she has to have the hair from Black Rain, though.
She has to. I think she should have like the dress and everything. Like she should totally just be, Black Rain.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a bit more dope.
Either that she's wearing a Red Wings uniform. Have we lost Chad?
Nah, man, I'm here. We bitsing and bobsing then?
No, I was just looking up to see if Indiana Jones was still on Netflix.
All right, official bits and bobs.
He called the dog Indiana.
I don't know. It was on, and it's not. I don't know why it's not anymore.
Yes.
Ooh, Ancient Aliens. All right, so whatever. We've been doing bits and bobs.
Yeah, but this is the official Bits and Bobs.
Oh, sorry. How do you put one season of Ancient Aliens on Netflix? So poor.
Focus Trinity.
Okay. Bits and Bobs. What else do I like?
Well, you see, Kevin, it was the Anunnaki.
Exactly, dude. Gobekli Tempe.
Maybe there aren't any more Bits and Bobs.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to think for a second.
Bits and Bobs, I love the bit where Jeanette Goldstein throws the knife through her husband's head. That was great. I remember that getting me when I was a kid.
Right through the milk carton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just read the most fantastic article about that scene and how it was so difficult to film. It took like a whole 24 or 48 hours, something crazy like that. And Xander Berkeley had to practice swallowing swords for that scene. And he had to stand there like that for a long time in the course of getting that sorted out. Man, I wish I remember where the hell I read that.
Getting it sorted out.
Oh,
Dude, that was sweet.
Yeah, and the milk carton makes a great tie-in to The Professional, an episode for the lactose tolerant,
which made it into the show title.
Chad, did you name the show for the lactose tolerant?
I did indeed.
Oh, yes. Good. Anyway, yeah, that was a really great scene. I like what else do I like? I don't know. I don't really have any bits and bobs, okay? I wish I had a nuggety bob, but I don't have a nuggety bob, so I don't even have any nuggets.
To be fair, I think we've kind of been sprinkling in bits and bobs as we've been going.
We have.
I know I certainly did, and hence I am sort of in the same boat, and I can't really think of anything that I haven't already said. So
we didn't really dig into detail. We don't need to go into detail, but we didn't really mention the chase scene much in the LA aqueduct stuff. That was pretty fucking cool. You can just leave it there, to be honest, but there was a really great chase with the big tow truck thing.
Yeah, the aqueduct is great.
The aqueduct, not the Aquanauts.
Sorry, Octonauts was great.
Yeah. Sometimes I play GTA 5 just to sort of relive that.
Oh, totally.
Cruising in the aqueduct thing.
It's so cool. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
I saw a cool nugget that when the tow truck goes under the tunnel thing and loses its entire top half, that wasn't on purpose. They brought the truck down to film that day and realized they had a height issue, and they were just like, fuck it, we'll just smash the top off of it. And that was how that happened, which is pretty cool.
Oh my God, dude. This whatever, it may be stricken from the show, but I have to say it now because it's a perfect tie into that. You remember our buddy Steph? Jeez. He ended up, I found out, like, after I quit Bartlett, I found out that he ended up getting fired because he drove one of the bucket trucks under a low clearance bridge and smashed the bucket off.
Yes.
I'm sure as soon as it happened, he was like, oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, guys. Decapitated my truck.
Guys. I didn't know it was so low. Anyways.
I love that.
I could not tell that story on that part.
Totally.
But yeah, dude, the jumping the tow truck off the bridge
so legit.
And having it still keep going was just completely silly.
So dumb, but awesome.
Well, I think it worked. For me, it worked because the truck showed damage and difficulty in operation afterwards. So I was like, okay, well, that's sort of plausible.
Yeah, I suppose. This is like, the thing is so front heavy. Like, it would just
totally
just like go into the, it'd be like a Jart, remember Jarts? It would just like funk straight into the ground. But
do I remember Jarts? I love it. Ben, you just wanted to do that this grenade launcher
the sound again.
Boom.
It would have been totally The Dark Knight with the truck flipping over with the Joker in it.
There you go. Well, the thing about that truck, though, Ben, is that it's so, it was one of those like super old school, super aerodynamic, flat front.
Yeah, really good. It's was like I've never seen a tow truck like that. Like it was like a Freightliner. It was like a Freightliner, fucking Optimus Prime rig with,
It was.
Yeah.
I'd never seen one like that either.
With a towing
I've never seen one
apparatus.
since. But it like those Freightliners were just like, it's like, what were you thinking? Like, how can we make this truck go slower? Make it completely flat in the front. I don't know, whatever. It's kind of stupid. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, fine. Now that I said it, though, there needs to be some kind of weird Terminator Transformers mashup.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
With Megan Fox.
With Megan Fox, dude. What are you, 10?
With Megan Fox.
And Mackie Mac.
Oh, and Marky Mark. Well, now you're talking.
Who?
Say hi to your mother for me.
Say hi to your motherfucker. Hey,
Hey,
donkey.
dog. You're a dog. What's going on? Say hi to your mother for me.
So dumb and such a great bit.
Oh, my God. It's so good. So, Andy, I hear about this this impression you've been doing of me. Hey, Amy, say hi to your mother for me. It's so good. Anyway.
Nuggets test ratings, or we got any other bits?
Yeah, no, fuck the bits and bobs.
Fuck out, I'm out of here.
Dude, Kev has to go watch fucking Ancient Aliens. So let's
Right.
wrap this shit up.
Exactly. No, it's something else. I said something else earlier. Some stupid movie. Oh,
Yeah,
Indiana
Major
Jones.
Pain.
Indiana Jones.
Nah, Major Pain,
Jones.
guys. Come on.
And Indiana Jones.
Oh, Major Pain. Unless I can find Temple of Doom, and then I'm going to watch that. Om Nam Shiva, Om Nam Shiva, Om Nam Shiva. Kalima.
All right, I got a Kev. I have a Kev quantity of nuggets today, unfortunately.
Right. I have,
Dude,
well,
Mola
wow.
Ram needs to be in our, or Mola
agree.
Ram rather, needs to be in our video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck
Mola
yeah.
Ram and Mumm-Ra from Thundercats.
Okay. Well, if Mumm-Ra's in the game, then Cheetara's in the game too.
Oh, I loved see. Yeah, that was like that. You guys see that picture that Carl sent? Turbofan Carl on Instagram sent us about the Mortal Kombat unlockable video game characters. It was like RoboCop, Terminator. It was a couple of the ones that we were jamming on for our video game idea.
Yeah, totally.
Another Uber listener.
Turbofan, Turbo.
Nuggets death rating.
There you go. We need a Nuggets Deaths rating jingle. Nuggets Deaths ratings.
Oh shit! I forgot to send it. I was doing some trim. They put some new classrooms in over at the new school, and I was doing some trimming them. And I came out, and somebody had like outside of one of the classrooms, there was like a watercolor painting that was just like this swirly green thing, and it said Nuggets.
Yes.
I took a picture of it. I meant to send it to you guys, and I totally forgot. I will pass that along. I was like trying to find somebody to be like, what is this and who made it? Because I do a podcast and we have a section called Nuggets.
So I guess just hearkening quickly back to the video game idea from Roadhouse, like that plus like a ton more characters.
Yeah, totally.
And a big white man. Moving on.
That's Kate Capshaw's
Chad,
final
Is that
weapon.
Wade Garrett's final form?
That's Kate Capshaw's final form is that she turns into Sam Elliott's mustache.
And shoots mints.
I thought Wade Garrett's final
There
form
you
was
go.
the big white mint.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
weird.
turned into the big white mint and then I just rolled straight over your ass.
Well, either that or like I don't know. He just kind of sits there, like because he's a giant mint and he can't do anything.
Just becomes
Right?
impervious.
Yeah, he's invincible.
It's like nobody can win. You know what I mean? Like he can't take damage, but he can't do damage. So draw. Wade Garrett wins. What? What? Driver?
Do you have nuggets? We kind of went off on a diatribe there.
We did. I have just like one that I just grabbed, one or two actually.
That you just read while somebody else was talking.
Yeah, I actually just did it to annoy you, but the nuggets are actually good too.
He was at the bank and they had some nuggets in a little free nuggets for the taking in a little basket.
Yeah,
There you go.
ready to go.
All right, Chad, go first. Then I'll do mine. You can do the last one. Whatever.
All right. Hamilton auditioned for Janeway, which I thought was good.
Ooh, whoa.
What? That would have been sick.
She actually probably could have done a decent job, to be honest.
Yeah, that would have been really good, dude. Okay. This one is because I talked about this in the course of the episode, and this makes it even cooler. So, Robert Patrick trained in a rigorous running regimen while breathing only through his nose in order to be able to appear to run at high speeds without showing fatigue on film. Very cool. Even cooler. He trained so hard that he was able to catch up with Edward Furlong riding his dirt bike with great ease and had to back off considerably.
That's badass.
Yeah, that is super cool, man.
Just like practice sprinting hardcore for weeks. That's awesome.
Dude, totally.
Guy should have been in the Olympics.
Right.
Probably would have brought home the gold.
Dude, his run is one of the more iconic things in this movie, I think, for sure. We touched on it earlier, but it's pretty iconic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Next nugget.
Nugget. In our social media something to post sometime folder that we've had for a long time has been a Furlong cover of People Are Strange by the Doors. Evidently, he had a musical career and is still huge with Japanese girls today. He's really popular in Japan. And his debut song, Hold On Tight, beat Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You to #1 in the Japanese charts.
Are you? I don't even believe that I heard what I just heard. Are you making this up? What do you, Furlong?
Yep, Furlong, dude.
Wow, that's actually like a better nugget than my nugget. And it really has nothing to do with the movie. In terms of its just like scope of like
Nuggetiness.
craziness, man. Yeah, and nuggetiness.
That's a nugget.
Oh, it's more than a nugget. That's a nuggety bob.
You're so in love with that term. I love it.
I am. Well, you shouldn't have invented it.
It's a nougaty, Bob.
It's a nougaty bob. Hello.
Right? Get it right.
All right, here's my last one. All right, and this one, it kind of disturbs me, but I want to tell it anyway because I think it's important. So in the audio commentary, I guess, Cameron said that not only was the biker bar scene filmed across the street from where LAPD officers beat up Rodney King, but they were filming the night of the beating.
It's nuts.
Yeah, dude. And then in the same blurb, which makes it even weirder and worse, Cameron got the idea for Strange Days after the outcome of the verdict on April 29th, 1992. Like, I don't know. I find that very disturbing that they were like filming across the street in the biker bar where this guy is like
Getting beaten.
just getting, yeah, like brutally and like, and then kicking off like a whole social, more than that, revolution in this country, man. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's wild, man. That's crazy. I had also seen that, and you sniped my nugget. You sunk my battleship. Otherwise, I probably would have had a much more like holy shit reaction to it. But it's fucking crazy.
That is crazy,
Dude, that is the better way to say you swiped my nugget. You sank my battleship.
All right, I got one more.
Go ahead. Go for it.
So let me see if I can do this. Actually, hang on. I want to get this right.
Get comfortable.
So in the later scenes where the Terminator reboots after getting that rod jammed through his torso in like the climactic ending, the scene where the Terminator reboots was a reshoot because I guess like test audiences or whatnot found it confusing, or James Cameron thought it might be confusing to the audiences. So they had to do a reshoot, and he got in touch with Schwarzenegger. And Schwarzenegger was on his way to visit Bruno for Christmas to come back and shoot the scene. And that scene evidently was shot on Christmas Day. So I would like to propose for the record that James Cameron pulling Arnold Schwarzenegger away from Bruno on Christmas Day gave birth to Brucemas.
God damn, dude. That was intense.
Yeah, Bruno was so sad that his friend Arnie didn't come over for Christmas that he's just like, fuck it, I don't believe in Christmas anymore. And started celebrating Brucemas.
I'm trying to picture Arnie singing "I'll Be Home for Christmas" now, and it's just not.
It sounds like a lot of work.
I would totally listen to it. Dude, if Arnie came out with a Christmas album, I would buy it. Like, if he came out with an album, it would just be so good.
It would. It would be like the sea captain from The Simpsons having that Hornpipe Fever album.
It would just... I love the deep
Right?
cut Simpsons reference, man. I'm telling you, man.
Come on, dude.
If anyone can do it, if anyone can do a holiday album, it would be Arnie.
I mean, it might be his swan song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It might be just the thing for Arnie to, just put the icing on the cake of his career. Like,
Fascinating captain.
he's done a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't done a Christmas album.
That's
so.
true.
He would do great Jingle Bells, man. Come on. Just
Dude, it'd be so good. It'd be so funny. Maybe it just need to be like a single or something.
bells, jingle all the way.
In like the new Spotify way that people don't drop albums anymore, they drop songs one at a time. That'd probably work for Arnie. Because if it was like 10 of them in a row, he'd probably get pretty sick of it by the end. But
Definitely.
I'd listen.
So, any more nuggets?
Nah, man. Ratings.
Oh, ratings. No, deaths, dude.
Deaths.
Duh.
That's a death.
That is a death. I had that death a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Rushing it.
It's N to the D to the R.
All right, deaths. Here we go. So we had Chad was ejecting like before I even finished the intro, and then continued to eject the entire episode. I had this sweater song, Death.
That wasn't a death. That was good.
No, it was something else. Something about the sweater song. Maybe I...
Oh, you tried to add a verse and did such a fucking bad job that you died. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. I tried to add a verse. Then, let's see. Benny had a Matrix. Then you ejected again on Danny Cooksey. And then I had a Star Wars Mountain Dew It death. And then Chad had a Star Wars death. Then I had another Star Wars Mountain Dew It, now with more Senate death. And
Now
then we
with
all
more
had
Senate.
yeah, it's that meme I sent you guys a while ago. And then we all had a minigun death, minigun name death from Predator. And then Chad, you just had the death first bitch death.
I had the pre-death death. Skip death. Death skip.
Mm-hmm. No, death's first bitch. That's what that's called.
There you go.
Sorry.
Isn't it Old Painless? Is that what the minigun is called?
Maybe. I don't even remember any such name, so I can't comment. All right, ratings.
Do it.
Who picked this movie? So, all right, I'll go first this time. I don't know. I kind of agree with Ben. It's not the first movie. It's not a classic like the first movie. I think the first movie is a true classic. I don't know if I'd quite qualify or class this as a classic, but it's really good. And the effects are great. Dialogue's great. Just the plot, the way everything's laid out. There's some great surprises in it that have nothing to do with time travel. So I'm going to just go ahead and give this movie like I don't know, we talked about this being too much of a love fest, but I'm going to give this movie a 9.3. Like, it's just so good, man, you know? Like, I so enjoyed watching it. It's not dated at all. It holds up great. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, I disagree. I think it is a classic.
Ooh.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Terminator 1 doesn't have much of a hold on me because just of how old I was at the time. But
Fair enough. I'm with that because I definitely am more tuned in on Aliens than the original, so I can definitely understand that for sure.
It doesn't discount your review at all. It just means I have a different one because I was just at a different place when I saw this when I was a kid.
Well, fair enough, but I don't even know. Like, I may be wrong about that. I'm who knows?
No, I think it's reasonable. I don't know. I think it is a classic in action cinema just because it broke some ground, but yeah, so for me, I rated this when watching it without looking at the algorithm an 8.3, which is in fantastic category, but looked at the algorithm and it actually, interestingly, is the definition of a legendary movie. It's a 9.0, so it is the movie that defines what is and is not a classic, and it beats The Matrix. I think The Matrix doesn't hold up as well as Terminator 2. So as a result, it is straddling the border of what is and is not a classic. It's just a 9.0.
Love it, man. Very nice. I love when you give a high rating. Benny.
Well, again, Chad, you're wrong.
Sweet.
Nice.
This movie is the use your illusion to the original Terminator's Appetite for Destruction.
Nice, dude. You just freaking slam dunked that shit.
Although I wouldn't quite say that it's a little better than Use Your Illusion. 1 or 2.
Slightly.
It's a little better. But that being said, I do like this movie quite a bit. And I was kind of dreading it, but I ended up really having a good time watching it. I'm going to give this one like a solid 8.5. How's that?
Yeah.
I love it. Good times, man.
So do you think it doesn't hold up as well, or do you just think it's not quite at the same caliber as T1?
The T1 is just I'll go back to the Matrix comparison and say that it's like, all this stuff is brought up in the original Terminator movie that, you get like a little taste of, but you don't see, or it's not like a big part of the movie. And this expands the universe in a way that is, it's not that it's bad, but like, you kind of don't want those things to be, you don't want to see those things, like it's just like, it doesn't necessarily need to be there. Like the first Terminator movie could be there and that's it. It's the beginning and the end. And we don't have to start this like slew of, movies that aren't like great or bad or super satisfying, but it's just more content, I think Terminator 2 is probably like the last really good Terminator movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they needed to do it. So that answers your question.
It does. I'd almost say that Terminator 2 is like what I wanted Matrix 2 to be. And all the other Terminator movies are what Matrix 2 and 3 were, in a way.
I don't know. Terminator Salvation, I gotta say, is pretty good, but I know what you mean, yeah.
It's not that I hate all the other movies, but they're just not, they'll never be this. It's like when you, like you said, Matrix doesn't hold up as well, and the Matrix can never hold up as well as the first time you see it because there's a trick that happens. There's like a turn of events, and like the first time you see that movie, it fucking blows your socks off.
Yep.
And then every time you see it subsequently, it's just not as powerful. So, it's kind of a similar thing. It was kind of a similar thing for me with the original Terminator movie, and it was just like. The original one just has a lot more like nostalgic value attached to it for me. Like we used to watch it all the time. Like me and my buddy Sean used to like, that was like one of our favorites, like we just pop that old VHS in any old time. And, I don't know. It's just, you're never going to top that for me, but this is it's a swing and a hit, it's not a swing.
No
and a
doubt,
miss, so.
dude. It's so good. Yeah. It's a worthy sequel too, Ben, but I agree with you. And I just would like to add that Terminator 1 was hungry. Terminator 1, like, I know I talked about this with Adam Gale recently. I don't know if we talked about it on that episode, but Terminator 1 was hungry. It was like a gritty, almost like an indie film.
Yeah.
Cameron wasn't really even that fully established yet. I think that movie really kind of rocketed him forward. So that movie had less of a budget. The stakes were higher, like they were really getting creative with like less money, and you really can see it, it's actually very much a noir film, and I don't mean that just because of the bar in there, but it really is kind of like that. It's kind of dark like that. It's like a sci-fi noir.
It's a tech noir film.
You know what, Ben? That's a great name for it. It's a tech noir. Exactly. So, I don't know. That's what I feel about that first movie. Like, it's got that gritty quality that you just can't duplicate, that hungry quality. They really were making some serious magic with that movie. And I think that this is a totally awesome movie. I won't take away from it. And a worthy sequel, but it's also got like an $88 million budget. It's like 8 million times the budget of the first one. So I don't know. That's it.
I saw that the nuke scene cost more than the entire first movie. The special effects budget for that one scene.
I believe it.
That's pretty crazy.
To your point, like the budget was massively different. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with both of your guys' point of view here. I think the only defense of my viewpoint, I think, comes back to the fact that I was quite a bit younger, 11 years old in the theater, and it was the first movie that I saw. So I definitely think if I had seen it the other way around, I probably would align more with both of your point of view, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, but whatever. We've talked about that kind of like nostalgic when we were kids.
Yeah.
That factors come into play so many times. So like, yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm also still just riffing on your little anecdote about like, trashing your little cousin's legs or whatever it was
Totally.
before. So like,
No.
Yeah.
Your idea
That
is
was great
stupid.
too.
yeah.
All right. So, algorithm, what are we doing next week, dude?
Next week we're doing Moon.
Well, there you have it, folks. Moon next week. Sam Rockwell. Get stoked for that. Thanks for joining us for this Terminator episode. And I don't know. We'll see you later, I guess.
It's like, see you later and stuff.
I don't know. Just trying to keep switching up and keep it fresh after we're only 100-something episodes in. Crying out loud.
120, dude.
Oh, there you go. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. If you'd like to support us, you can do so by telling some friends. You can also write us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast nuggety bobs. And you can also support us on Patreon. Hey, check that out. So throw us a buck. Patreon.com/EBD podcast. We certainly would appreciate it, as we appreciate all of you. Don't forget to follow us on social. We use the handle @EBD podcast everywhere. Jump in and join in on the fun. You can find the show notes for this episode in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/120. Thank you for joining us for this, talking about this classic science fiction movie, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Stay tuned next week for Moon with Sam Rockwell. And Sam Rockwell himself will be here on the show, so get stoked about that. So long for now, folks.
Beady. Stop into it.
I'm having a hard time getting Terminator Dark Fate out of my head. It was so terrible and disappointing.
Well, we can have a therapy session here.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't want to infect the show with that, but I can't.
I have to watch that again. I don't remember hating it so much.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Like, it was just same old shit.
I mean, I was digging it. It was going along. I was like, cool. Like, it was another one of those movies where it was like the premise was really cool. I digged like the alternate timeline kind of thing, and like there were some elements of it that were cool. Like Arnold, sending out the signals to, Sarah Connor to like hit these various targets, and like there was a lot of cool lore there, but just like the meat of it and the dialogue were just pretty terrible, man. And I was like, when Linda Hamilton came on, I was like, all right, dude, fucking Linda Hamilton, let's party, dude. You just think about her with the black fatigues and the goddamn AR-15, but it was so not like that. She was just, I don't know, it's just weak dialogue. Arnold, the blind guy. I mean,
that was so funny, man. I got a chuckle out of it.
It was pretty funny, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I didn't make it all the way to the end. I don't even remember what happened at the end.
I like how you'll be like, dude, the dialogue in Terminator 17 was so disappointing. But anyways, my pick next week is Airborne, the 1992. Like, okay, bro.
Hey, man, it's the way the twisted mind of Wolverine.
I love it. Anything's better than that fucking Claire Danes one. Whatever, was that 3?
Oh, God, yeah.
That one
was
sucked.
bad. That was terrible. That was, pretty bad. I don't know. This Terminator Salvation was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was all right.
That. Yeah. Bale and Anton Yelkin, I don't know.
That poor bastard.
Oh,
fuck.
Didn't that have Khaleesi in it?
No, Khaleesi was in Terminator Genesis. And that's the one where they kind of redid they did some cool things in that. They redid the opening scene from the first movie, and then they injected older Arnold into it. I don't know, man. John Shea. We went to see Jaws. They were doing like a rescreening of Jaws at one of the theaters in L.A. when I was out there a couple of years ago, and
You mean
Terminator Genesis
the
was
actor?
coming out.
John Shea?
Yeah, John Shea, the actor. John just said, dude, who the hell wants to see, 60-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator? And I was like, yeah, it kind of sums it up pretty nicely.
It's fair.
In many ways.
Not unfair.
Yeah, not unfair, exactly. Anyway, all right, here we go. Broadcasting live from inside the power band.
Oh, geez, guys.